Hi, I'm David Perk, and this is an episode of Painterview where I'm going to be painting and interviewing the amazing Vinegar Strokes, Daniel Jacob, aka Vinegar Strokes, who is a drag queen that you might have seen on RuPaul's Drag Race UK and also in the West End show Everybody's Talking About Jamie. Not everybody loves Jamie, which I called it earlier. I don't know where that title came from, but everybody does love Jamie, so it's all right. And we're going to be talking about all sorts of fun things today while I paint their beautiful face. And there she is. Ooh, I always feel like it's a kind of drum roll when you're waiting for someone to come in.
Hello!
Uh,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. Let me put my headphones in. I feel like I can't. Yes. That's better. I was like, it's so far away.
That was so funny. So for me, you froze, and I was waiting for you to come back, and then suddenly you were just right up at the camera. Yes!
That's me, babe. I'm always like where you least expect me to be. I'm always in your face.
I'm loving this hat.
Well, it's covering my lockdown throw because it's very like unkept at the moment. I need to get to the barbers to actually cut it. But I'm very nervous. I'm very nervous about getting to the barbers and going somewhere where it could be a bit minging, a bit messy. So I'm like, I'll just do it at home. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some pretty good quarantine haircuts. They haven't all been
Oh my
awful.
God, I've seen some ringers. There's some nice people in. We've got Mayhem Miller's in as well. Hello, dear. How are
Hey,
you?
ma'am. I
The
love
eyes.
them.
The eyes are in.
Well, thank you so much for coming and chatting today.
Oh
And
no, thank you for
yeah,
having me. I mean, thank you again for even painting me. So if you guys don't know, who was watching this, basically David had painted me in East London. So if you go to Shoreditch in East London, you can literally see my face across a wall, and I look gorgeous. So
yeah,
yeah, it's
it's great.
great.
And yeah, and I'm gonna today, you can see it here. It's a bit confusing. It's reflected in the mirror so that you can see it, but
Oh my God, yeah.
the
Oh,
canvas is
that's
there.
that's hilarious. I thought you were painting in like the mirror was the
Yeah,
painting, but
it always confuses people, and usually it's at the end where I'm like, "Now look at the painting," and they're like, "Wait, what? What
yeah,
kind of magic
what?
trick did you just do?"
What is this sorcery? Oh my God.
Yeah, the magic of mirrors. I'm like a magician.
I know, right? I know.
Anyway, so I'm going to be doing a smaller version of the mural because eventually, as beautiful as the mural is, eventually somebody is going to tag over it or something.
I'm
It's
waiting for
inevitable.
someone. I am waiting for someone just to draw a big penis in my mouth because my mouth is literally like this, and it's literally ready to take a penis essentially. So yeah, I'm waiting for someone just to do that, and I'll be like, oh great, thanks. But
Well, a little birdie told me that you paint, so you should go
well,
and do it.
I don't want to blow my own trumpet, but yes, I do. I dabble in a bit of canvas painting. You know, some people say I should probably paint my face more than anything. I'm like, I still do that, but no, I do enjoy painting a little bit. During lockdown, I've actually reconnected with that. So, I've only done like two little. I'll show you actually. I've only done two little.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you have them to
I'll
hand?
show you. I need to actually put some lights on. It's getting so dark now. Ah, so I painted a nice little Grace
Yeah.
Jones moment here, and obviously a Lady
Oh,
Gaga there as well. So I just had them, and people were like, "Oh my God, you should do like vinegar strokes or like vinegar paint strokes." I'm like, as much as the name is like amazing, I'm literally not a painter. Like I literally just do it just as like a hobby kind of thing. And sometimes I'm like, can't I have something for myself? Like, can't I have a
mm,
little moment just for me, just to enjoy? So, I haven't actually painted anything for a while because I've just been suddenly really busy. So I need to get back into just painting some more stuff. But what I quite like is that you can kind of start something and kind of like revisit it over like a few days, really. So, yeah, I've just been doing that over lockdown, mainly painting my room. Paint's been involved a lot in my lockdown in some
yeah.
shape or form. Whether it's acrylic or emulsion or, makeup, there's been some painting going on some shape or form. Oh, I
Do
love
you,
you as
do you
well, Liv.
find, do you find there's like similarities between painting your face and painting on a canvas?
I found that I paint better on a canvas because I paint my own face. If that makes any sense. Like
Mm.
with those things, I was drawn to painting faces when I was a kid. I would only ever paint like objects or landscapes and stuff like that. And I haven't actually done a landscape or an object in ages. But for some reason, when I just bought like loads of supplies, I was like, oh, let me just paint some faces. And I started looking at like different album artworks, and that was where my kind of first inspiration came. And I feel like my favorite album artworks are always just like close on people's faces. So like I love an Adele artwork. I love a Grace Jones artwork, a Gaga artwork. So it's quite nice that you just take a face and go, oh, let me see if I can paint that and translate that into through my hands. I want to do a Paloma Faith one actually, because she's got a really good one
I
for
love
the.
that.
I'm obsessed with her, but she's got a really good one for the album The Architect. Especially there's the remix, the remix, the kind of like the new release that she did for it. And she's got a really great, like it's almost like a mask, which is like taken off the body and it's like on the floor. So I want to paint that when I actually get a spare moment to myself. But yeah, I love painting. I find it very therapeutic and just,
Mm.
whack on some music, get a glass of wine, and you just and the day just kind of goes essentially, which is great.
Yeah, and like you said, you can, because it's like this slower thing. You can do it and come back to it. There's because with drag,
Mm,
like you can. This is what I found when I do makeup. It's like I'll do a makeup and you have to finish it in that one sitting. It's not like you can go to sleep and wake up and do more the next day. So it's
yeah,
very much this kind of immediate thing. And
and it's
um,
gone. Like I know, after a while, you have to wipe it off. You have to wash it off, and it goes. So for me, it's kind of nice just to be able to have something that I've painted, and it's just I can shove it on the wall and go, great. This is something I've painted. So there's a few bits that I've done through lockdown. I can go, okay, this is part of my lockdown experience, my lockdown
mm,
journey. And yeah, it's really good. It's really cool to have that as like a I don't know, a prize for surviving lockdown, I
yeah,
suppose. You know,
everybody else has sourdough bread. You have painting, and
some people
yours
have
is gonna
sourdough,
last longer.
yeah, some people have sourdough bread, which is like growing in a jar somewhere, and I have a couple of paintings. But yeah, I definitely want to get some more paintings done, just as a new kind of hobby, really, because I feel like lockdown's been amazing. Well, for me personally, it's been really good, just because I've like jumped into a more of a creative state of mind.
Yeah.
And yeah, and so I kind of want to carry on painting. It's just this kind of thing I just go and do. Um, when I'm feeling a bit like, oh my God, I'm so stressed or whatever. It's just kind of it's my one thing that I go, there we go. Some people have gardening, some people have porn, I have painting. So yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it sounds like it's kind of therapeutic for you.
Mm,
Yeah.
definitely. I look
That's
very scary right now in that painting, by the way. I look like a scream mask. I love it.
okay. So you doing drag, you know better than anyone. When you've done like your contour and nothing else, you look crazy. You must look.
Pause. Say it again. Say it again.
I'm saying you must know better than anyone. When you do drag makeup and you've done just the contour, you look absolutely crazy. And
Me?
so
I look
everyone
crazy?
does. I think anyone who's just done the contour and the powder, it looks crazy, and you're like,
Yeah.
how is that going to become a
The mu-
beautiful woman?
I
And
tell you
somehow,
what yeah, it looks crazy when you've done like the base, like the contour, the highlight, and you've got no eyebrows, and you're just like covered in powder. That's the crazy moment.
that's
That's
what this is.
But that's not my highlight. That's very much light for my highlight. I'm more of an ivory based highlight.
Oh, I didn't know I was going to be judged. You're behind the judges table
Well,
now.
my
What
love,
is it?
this is welcome to Painter's Race. This is a race against time.
Welcome to
Uh,
Vinegar Strokes.
Welcome to Vinegar's Paint Strokes.
Vinegar Strokes.
Don't fuck it up.
See, that's what the show's going to be. You're not going to paint. That's going to stay your like therapeutic thing, but you're just going to judge other people's
I'm just gonna
painting.
watch people paint and go, "That's shit. That's really good."
I wouldn't do it that. I'd do better than that. I wouldn't
But
do it.
I think you'd be top three though for sure. You'd go all
Oh,
the way.
no.
You'd go all the way.
I think I'd want to come like second and have everyone forever say like he was robbed.
Yeah,
But then
absolutely.
We'll talk about you more then.
Which is what people say about me, apparently. I was like, I went out third, so thank you for thinking I was robbed. That's great.
Yeah. It was so, does it feel a long time ago now, the drag race is fairly on?
Yes, because like we filmed it March last year, so and so much has happened since then as well. So it feels very much like a long time ago. But then you get people who might have just seen it like last week for the
Yeah.
first time, and they're like, "Oh my God!" and they will text you out the blue and say, "Oh my God, I missed you already on the show." I'm like, "Oh my God, we filmed that ages ago. What are you on about?" But obviously for me, I experienced it way differently to how someone is watching it. Say, someone could be watching it right now, this very night. Um, for the first time, and I'm
Yeah.
getting introduced to them in that kind of way. So yeah, even though for me it was a long time ago. Hello, Liv, nice to see you. Even though I've experienced it a long time ago, it's still very much like, wow, it's still very fresh for some people. So I have to kind of remember, oh yeah, there was that outfit, there was that thing I said, all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's very
Yeah. Some
interesting.
some people say how like it follows you almost for the rest of your life because that is always going to happen. People see it brand new, so then your
Yeah.
catchphrases like hodgepodge camp, that's going to be
Hodgepodge,
around you
camp,
forever.
and total slag. Like, I didn't realize that me coming on saying I'm a total slag was going to be something that was going to be like, etched into my skin metaphorically. Do you know what I mean? Because I was like, I just said it because that's one of my favorite phrases from TV, from a soap. I think it's absolutely hilarious that was something that someone wrote on a soap. I'm like, brilliant, love it so much. And I was like, I'll just say that because it's quite funny. But then you don't realize that, the show's been broadcast around the world. And, there's people, say, in America and all these places who legit, like, I've never even heard what a slag is. And I'm kind of introducing that phrase into their world, essentially.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's so funny. Someone's just said, you're just so transparent and hilarious. You can see through me. Thank you. Thank
Is
you so
transparent
much.
a good thing? Is that a good thing?
That's from JW State. Hi, babe. Nice to see you. So yeah, so it's very it's just a very kind of funny thing that your catchphrases are something that people latch onto and go, oh my God, that's funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
Definitely. And because it's like, even when you're on the show, there's still a very limited amount that people get to see you. Like the screen time per person isn't that big. So it's like, that's
Mm.
what they know. Like you are these things that you've said. And then,
Yeah, yeah, and it's interesting when you come off the show quite like in retrospect to other people on there for say 6 episodes or 7 or even 5 episodes. 3 episodes is not really a long time,
mm,
especially as you said. There's a lot. There's 10 queens on there. Everyone wants to have their little bit. The editors need to allow everyone to have a little moment to shine or to flounder. So you kind of, however long you're on there for, you are kind of latching on to what you did on the show for that moment in time, whatever was shown on the show by the editors, and you just kind of go from there, really. And I was glad that I had a couple of cool catchphrases that they kept in. I'm glad that the edit I got was very good, and I was perceived in a really good way and a really strong way, actually. And that, just the fact that I kind of floundered in episode 3 with the paper dress and the iconically best worst outfit on Drag Race, is the paper dress, and I can kind of own it, and it kind of allows me to own it like in a really positive way. End of the day, the majority of people who I've spoken to, it's drag, it's fun, they get it. If something's a bit shit, it actually makes it really good. It's just the
Yeah.
hardcore fans who are like, you need to make sure your makeup is just as good as RuPaul's. RuPaul don't do her own makeup, so yeah, sure. Do you know what I mean? Fine.
I'll hire Raven to do my face too, and then it
Yeah,
won't be
I
any
would
good.
love Raven to do my face every day, but cool. Do you know what I mean? You need to do your makeup better. Like I had someone, I put up a video once, and I had a whole day of filming, so I was doing all these bits and pieces. It's the last thing I had to film, but it was the first video that came out of the day, so it was a bit, it was a bit like meh, bit melted, that kind of stuff. And I got this message from someone saying, "Your makeup is absolutely atrocious. In America, we would not stand for this. You've taken someone's chance. You don't deserve this." And I was like, oh my
Oh
god,
my
it's just
God.
a bit of face paint. If if you went to a fun fair and there's a face painter there painting your kids, you're gonna go, you painted a shite butterfly on my son's face. You don't deserve this seat to paint faces. What are you
In
on
front
about?
of your child.
Yeah, I'm just like, what are you on about? So the hardcore fans make me laugh. I'm like, you're talking to someone who's in their um mid 30s of age, but looking mid 20s.
I was
And
gonna say, you sounded like you were thinking to yourself, should I say 20s or
should
30s?
I
I'm gonna
should I
decide
out
which.
should I out my age? Should I out my age? Beauty Pickles wants to call her a slag. You're a slag, straight up. Straight up slag. I love when they say please as well. But like, it's like you, you little like I literally go. You're talking to someone who's of a certain age, who's been there, done it, seen it, probably shagged the person who slagged me off before. Do you know what I mean? It's fine. This 14-year-old kid saying your makeup is shit. Fine, it's shit. That's fine. I'm still getting paid, regardless if I've got an eyebrow here and an eyebrow here. I'm still getting paid, so it's fine.
Yeah.
So it's funny when you kind of come out and the hardcore drag race fans are hardcore, like militant. It has to be like this, has to be like this. Well, it's drags. Actually, no, drag can be anything you want it to be. So
How
yeah,
do you,
so
how, because it's funny we've kind of gotten onto that already, because that's one of the things I wanted to talk to you about was how you deal with judgment and criticism. And you've kind of touched on a few things already, it sounds like, but I wondered kind of like, yeah,
yeah. Um, mm. So look, I'm from a theatre background. I've spent my whole life being told no. I've spent my whole life going up for things that I thought I was good at and being told no, not right now. You're not there just yet. So I've had to kind of deal with a lot of criticisms and a lot of comments.
yeah,
To In retrospect, they're comments that help you grow more as an artist and whatever shape or form your artistry is. But I've had a lifetime of it, so it's something that I'm really used to. What I wasn't used to was the kind of barrage. Like, I mean, to be fair, I was all right. I mean, I didn't see a lot on Twitter or whatever like that. Someone just asked me what my favorite musical is. My favorite musical is Sunday in the Park with George by Stephen Sondheim. Going back to that.
musicals is also on my list, so we're gonna
We'll
get
go to
there.
that. We'll go to that. So like for me, like it's very interesting when you go on, say, Twitter, and if you type in your name and you just see like a list of like people just like slagging you off, and you can either laugh at it and go, oh, okay, fine. Some of them are very cruel, but then I just think, okay, well, this isn't to do with me. It's to do with you. You're obviously hardcore about this show, and for me, the show actually does not exist anymore. Like, it happened. We filmed it, they aired it, it happened, and now it's gone. Like, it doesn't exist to me like the same way that someone who's just viewed it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So when it comes to like trolls and that kind of, I think I'm one of the lucky ones where I don't think I get that many people trying to come for me. And if I do, I don't see it because I don't read the comments and that kind of stuff. Even on my Canadian Drag Race recap show, I don't read the comments, even though I've been told by the producers the comments are amazing, the comments are great. I just don't read them because I'd rather just not put myself in that position to go, oh
yeah.
well, wow, people are literally just slagging me off for no reason. Do you know what I mean? And I've been told they're amazing, but I'd rather just not go into the ins and outs of someone's um, you know, trolling and whatnot, and what their hobbies are to slag people off. But yeah, I think it's a case of I'm because I'm a bit older and I come from like a theatrical background where I don't actually um being told no and being criticized is not new to me. Like it's all stuff I've heard before, which has helped me grow as a singer, helped me grow as a performer, as an actor, as a comedian. You know what I mean? It's all stuff that I've grown with to make me better. So
Yeah.
not to say that trolls comments make you better, but I think it makes you a stronger, thick-skinned kind of person to go, do you know what? I'm not going to read the comments. I'm not going to give this person airtime, because at the end of the day, if you look at it really, it's either a very confused 12-year-old or a very sad 30-something, 40-something-year-old. So I'm just like, nah, I'm busy. I've got things to do. Sorry, love.
Yeah, definitely. It sounds also like it's differentiating what is constructive criticism from somebody who's saying it to help you be better, and what is, like you said, just someone getting their anger out, or I don't know. I think there's a lot of reasons why people get so invested in their criticism. But
And you got to remember, sometimes like you're saying stuff that maybe that person already knows. If that person, I might already know that my eyebrow is here and the other one is here. I know. I don't need someone to tell me your eyebrows are wonky. I know. Yeah, and that's the thing. I think, you decide. You have the option and the choice to react to a troll or someone who's coming after you in whatever way. And if your way is to kind of, is to fight it and be like, oh, fuck you, don't talk to me like that, you don't know who I am, all that kind of stuff. Then you kind of, that's your way, fine. If your way is to kind of go, I'm not reading it anyway, so who cares? That's the way to go as well. There's so many different ways that you can go about dealing with this kind of world of trolling and that kind of stuff.
yeah,
So yeah, you make the choice. If you wanna envelop yourself in people's comments, go for it. But to me, I couldn't care less about someone's comments. Obviously, I love the positive ones, and I love the fans. I love my fans as well, and I love that they can support and come to my shows and that kind of stuff. But it's not. But I don't actively go seek out to read comments from people, because it doesn't really get you anywhere, and you waste half the day. Do you know what I mean?
definitely. So what about when it comes to the type of theatre, the criticism you had in theatre, where it is intended to be constructive, but it can still be hard to hear when
Oh
when it's
yeah,
something that you care about, for someone to be like, you didn't do this well. Like, how
yeah,
did
yeah.
you learn to take that in a way that didn't discourage you?
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing theatre, like performing in like musicals and whatever, amateur ones and that kind of stuff, since I was like 11 or 12, so very like quite young really. I didn't go the whole kind of like ballet school route or dance school route when I was very tiny, but I jumped straight into doing like youth theatre and stuff when I was like 11, 12. And you're taught by people who have been in the business themselves as actors or dancers or choreographers or directors or whatever, or writers or whatever. And I remember this one guy in particular, Robert Hyman, who had the best surname, Hyman. I just love
Yeah,
it, of course.
that's a
He,
drag queen.
yeah, that is a drag queen. I think he's a bit of a drag queen, really, but a straight bald guy. So yeah, and he was one of my first. He was one of my first like teachers in musical theatre and stuff, and he would kind of write these amazing shows, and we would kind of do these original bits and pieces. And what was hilarious was he was mental. Like, he literally, if you were not good, you would hear the wrath of his voice, and he would literally destroy you. Like, you're all crap. Like, we're all little kids as well. We're like, oh my god, what's going on? But that was the world you grew up in, and that's how it works in youth theatre. And I don't know if it's the same now, because yummy mummies and you can't shout at my child and that kind of stuff. But the people who I know who still are performers and are great performers are the people who were in these groups with me and that kind of stuff, and we were literally yelled at and shouted at on a weekly basis if we were being shit. And and it's not for the thing of they're shouting at us because they feel the need to be, you know, verbally abusive to children. It's because these people are investing so much time. Of course, it's their job, they're getting paid for it, but still, they're investing so much of their time and their skills into us to kind of build up the next wave of amazing performers to come out and go into the world and create theatre and art and that kind of stuff. And that was just how it is. Like that's just how it works in Amdram and theatre and that kind of stuff. Is that you just get shouted at. So for me, I was because I have that background of people just shouting and going, "You're being crap. This is the note. You're doing the wrong steps. This is not the line." All that kind of stuff. It's just stuff that I've grown up with, and I'm used to hearing that noise. So when it comes to criticisms, it just goes back to they're shouting and give you criticism because you have a gift and you have something to offer, but you're not applying it in the right way. So when you're 14, 15, 16, which is the kind of vital years for when you kind of go off piste, or you carry on with what you're good at, I think it's good that people shout and people tell you that you're crap, and you go back into it. And if you cry, you get back on with it. You know what I mean? So
it sounds a bit like, because they are doing it because they care. You know, they care about theatre and they care about you being the best that you can be.
Exactly, yeah.
And within that context, it's not personal. It sounds like you're not taking it personally either. It's like, it's not like someone is shouting at you to be like emotionally abusive. They're just shouting in order to say, let's get this song right.
Yeah, listen, and sometimes it's to give a kid an attitude check, because sometimes you get kids, and I was one of them at one point, where you come in and you have a good run of being really good and getting all the praise and being being like top dog in the room, and then boom, you're then brought back down to earth. You're like, oh yeah. So you know, you get a bit humiliated, you get told off, you get shouted at, but it's all for the good of turning you into a really good working professional person. And again, like I said, you know, you don't, I say professional person because sometimes you hit a certain age and go, actually, I've done that now. That part of my life is done. I know plenty of performers who are amazing singers, amazing actors, amazing dancers. They hit like 18, 19, 20 and go, oh, actually, do you know what? I want to do this in my life. It's totally fine. But those things that we learn as kids, I really do think go into everyday life and that kind of stuff. I think that's why I'm so, you know, I just love working in a group with people as well, because I'm used to working as an ensemble and creating something with other people as well. That's kind of where I really enjoy getting creative, I suppose.
Totally. Yeah, and I could imagine that kind of being able to take criticism in a non-personal way and having that kind of emotional intelligence from a young age is really useful socially too.
Well, even on Drag Race, that I think that helped me out loads, because, you know, did I get great comments? No. But could I laugh at myself, and could I laugh at the situation and be like, this is that episode 3, which I still say is the best episode of the series. Sorry, but it is. Sorry, Viv.
Sorry about it.
Sorry about it. It's the best episode of the season, and I was so happy, just because even though I was stressed out, I was like, oh my god, what the hell's going on? I'm stressed out with life and whatnot. Actually, I got to a point when I was like, this is actually quite hilarious that I'm on RuPaul's Drag Race. I'm struggling to make this horrible outfit work and be something. Let's just go with it. The time's ticking. We're just gonna go with it and have a good old laugh. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, it was upsetting to leave, and it was annoying to kind of go that early, because I really wanted to do Snatch Game. Like, that was the goal, to do Snatch Game. But like, hey, I made it onto the show, and I'm always a big believer that it's not actually what you do on the show, it's what you do afterwards. And actually, I think compared to some of the girls, I've actually done quite a lot of great stuff. You know, just because I was like, let's just put myself out there 100%, and do and just do something with this platform, which isn't going to be just about me kind of going, well, I was on Drag Race. It's like, yeah, but what else can you do afterwards, you know? And I'm really, and for me, I'm really exploring that every day. Is like, what else can I do, which isn't just relying on 3 episodes of a TV show, you know? Because there's so much more that the platform can offer, and you have a choice, or you can either make make the platform just about Drag Race, and you can go back and do, you know, your gigs for like 100 quid, 100 quid somewhere and do it like that. Or if you want to turn it into an empire like I do, what else have you got to offer? What else can you do with it? And I've been very fortunate that, and not from like a financial point of view, but just from a point of view of I'm using the platform to create music. I'm using the platform to create a campaign. I'm using the platform to for so many more things, which is kind of bigger than me in a way, which is really rewarding. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I wonder if because you had that experience in theatre and in music and other things before, I feel like now because drag is like an industry of itself, there's some people when they grow up with Drag Race, like that's the goal. To get on Drag Race is the goal. Whereas I imagine you grew up with like many different types of goals involving theatre and involving other stuff as well.
Yeah, my main goal, I mean, because people do ask me like, what's the one thing you want to do? My main thing is that I really want to get a show together and then just tour that around the world and get that out there. Drag Race again is for me is a platform where, as like you said, a lot of people do try, they do drag and their goal is just to get on Drag Race, and they're kind of like, well, right, I'm done, and they kind of expect there to be a lot of rewards afterwards, which there's tons of rewards afterwards, but rewards come with a thing of you have to work after that, and I actually think it's harder to go onto something like Drag Race and actually sustain that and actually maintain a ball rolling, because actually you can't really, unless you want to, you can't really go back to doing like a bar job. You can't really go back to working in Morrison's. You have to actually, get off your ass and do something with it. You know what I mean?
You have to be really entrepreneurial if you want to like
You
make
do. You've got to treat it like you're going on Dragon's Den. Do you know what I mean? This is the
Yeah.
product. I need this kind of investment. Let's go. So yeah. So for me, I always look at it from that point of view. And it is a business at the end of the day. But it's a really fun, vibrant business where you can get to meet people. Like I'm meeting you, I'm like, you messaged me, can I paint you? Yeah, go for it. And ordinarily we'd never have met. Do you know what I mean? Which is amazing.
Definitely.
So yeah, so it's got so many pros to doing this kind of thing, and I'm glad that I got into it when I did. I'm glad that I jumped on Drag Race and was like, I'll just try it and see what happens, and just try my luck, because you just never know. And after that, I'm just glad that I've not, even though there's been like, it's always been a bit like that as careers in the performing arts always are. I'm glad that I've just kind of gone, right, let's just try and make something out of these lemons that I've got here, and go for it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I would love to talk. You mentioned some of the other projects that you're doing at the moment, and one of them was the campaign, the It Could Be campaign you're doing. I'd love to talk to you
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah, that really, again, like I'm not like a political person. I've actually been the sort of person who kind of shies away from anything political, because one, sometimes I don't understand what's going on. So I'm always like, okay, cool, whatever. And I, as much as I don't want to, sometimes I will just kind of listen to who like my friend is voting for, and be like, well, that sounds like the right person to vote for. So sometimes I voted just because I'm kind of influenced by someone else, and that's purely
Yeah.
because I've not given myself enough credit in a way to say, actually, no, you are smart enough to know what the hell's going on. You just have to get in there and do research and do that kind of thing, and kind of just take an interest in it, really. So for me, I'm not a political person, but like I know what's right and what's wrong. I do think I have more of a humanitarian side to me, and always have done, rather than a political side. So when I saw all these videos of George Floyd being murdered in America by a police officer, I literally had this feeling of, oh my God, I'm watching the video, but actually, if I'm in the wrong place at the wrong time because I'm black, that could be me.
Yeah.
And it's as simple as that. Like it really is a simple case of if you're black and in the wrong place at the wrong time, regardless of if you've got some great things about you, whether you're a parent, whether you're a carer, whether you've got a degree, whether you're whether you're gay, straight, whatever, you know, whatever's great about you actually is irrelevant if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Genau.
So
Mit Breonna Taylor.
yeah, Breonna Taylor, even like people just getting stopped and searched for no reason, for the fact that they are black guys or black women or whatever in the wrong place, and there's a person who is white with a little bit of power, or police or whatever, who want to kind of exercise that power. Even people who are not the police, but they know exactly what would happen if they say, the prime example of the woman in Central Park who was saying, I'm going to call the police until an African American man is threatening my life. It's like, what are you on about? You're fucking insane. So the campaign purely came out of the fact that I had that feeling and that thought. And I said, you know what? I just want to put something out on Twitter about this. What's nice was, which is what I think is the big silver lining about lockdown, is the fact that every single person in the world could actually has to sit back and go, oh, I can't run away from this. I can't just swipe up and forget about it. And I've been guilty of that. You know, I've seen hundreds of these. The George Floyd video is not the first one. There's been hundreds before that. But even I've been guilty of just going, oh my God, that is fucking awful. But then you just kind of swipe up past it and you get on with your day, and you kind of, out of sight, out of mind kind of thing. So I think that's definitely been the silver lining. I think that's why there's been worldwide protests, not just one place, worldwide protesting about this, because everyone's in the same boat right now, that they have to just, they have to listen to what's going on in the world. They have to see what's going on in the world. So I put that out, and everyone kind of jumped on my campaign and really kind of backed it from the get-go. And yeah, it kind of became what it was, which was amazing.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I think I was talking to a friend the other day, because there's also been, as well as been a lot of other police brutalities, there's been a lot of other protests too. Like there's been, like, for years and years and years, there's been protests about the same thing, but it's like right now it's a really seems like a really special time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's definitely, this is the time when everyone's listening and the conversation is still going. I don't think the conversation has stopped at all. I feel like the conversation is still going with what I'm doing now with it, because obviously I'm not trying to create like a charity like that, because I don't think I'm actually equipped to be giving it, right, let's start a charity. But if I can just add something to the conversation as like a point of reference for people, something
Yeah.
which is easy for someone to kind of take stock of, because obviously I don't want to be the person who's like, the educator for all white people about why this phrase is important, why this movement is important. I do think that if you are someone who is white and wants to understand what it is to be white in the world right now, you should do your research. You should read. I've got a whole bunch of books the other day that I'm going to start reading. I'll just show them to you, actually.
Yeah, go for it. I've been listening to a lot of podcasts.
Yeah, this thing. I think there's so many resources out there. So I just got one. I got this one here, White Fragility by Robin DiAngelo. And I got this one here as well, Me and White Supremacy by Layla F. Saad. And my plan was to read these and then just kind of just pass them on to people, sign them. It's like a book club, like a traveling book club essentially, which is what I was thinking to do with those. But I'm not going to be the person who is going to be educating white people on that. But if I can create something which is tangible for someone to kind of digest in a way. So whether it's a book being passed around, it could be is now being turned into a podcast, which is coming very soon. I think there's so many resources, but it is down to the one individual to go out there and educate themselves and go, do you know what, I'm going to learn a little bit more, if it's just a little bit more about about what it is to be black in 2020, or what it is to be white in 2020. What is racism? Does that person know exactly what racism actually is? So it's oh, bye Liv, bye. So it's she's off, bye. So so yeah, so it's really important to say, okay, if you can't find a way to express how you're feeling through speaking, you should read things, listen to podcasts, watch documentaries, learn about. Again, it's all stuff that I'm doing as well. Like I don't know everything. I don't know. I know a tiny percentage of the bigger story, but I'm learning, and I'm willing to make the time to know a little bit more, so I can maybe pass on that information to my white friends and then go from there.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's a really interesting time where I think people are open to learning new things, but I think you kind of have to go on the wheelhouse of, these are the resources that they are readily available to me. Don't go for like a whitewashed version of what Black history actually is. I think a lot of people think, oh, Black history is just about slaves. It's like, yeah, sure, but then what about the rest of it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Cool.
Oh,
My egg timer's going off.
egg timer. She's hard boiled.
The cake's ready. I wonder what. Yeah, actually we didn't have much time, but I wanted to keep talking about it because so I was talking to a friend of mine the other day who's Black, and she's a potter, like makes pottery.
Oh, amazing.
And she is in a position where like she's always wanted her art and her career to be about the pottery, and hasn't necessarily wanted to have to put her like racial identity or anything like that into it. But now she's gotten 14,000 followers since the protest started because she's been picked up as like a Black creator. And obviously, and we were saying that the other day, and it's this like conflicted thing for her, because on the one hand, she feels like it's great that people are talking about this, but and it's great that, you know, it's people are highlighting Black creators. But on the other hand, like she said that she never wanted to have to make identity a part of her artwork, and it's like her needing to talk about it all the time and having to talk to people all the time becomes like it's not something that she necessarily wanted to have to do. So I wondered, as someone who initially, you said like you weren't super political to begin with, does that resonate with you at all, or how do you feel about like this is in some ways like a role that you're being forced into now?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because, you know, I think identity, if you're a creator of any sort, whether it's pottery, poetry, drag, makeup, whatever the art is, you know, I think your identity helps you create whatever you're creating because you're drawing from something, from something in your life. I think it's the same as if you're a queer creator. Your identity is a big part of what you're making. You know, whether it's something as tiny and irrelevant as you're creating a brand new version of, I don't know, of a brand new version of a musical, just say, but you are very gay and you want to put something more camp in there, but you're putting that campness in there because you identify as a very camp person who enjoys camp things, all the way to the other extreme where you are creating art because this is about, you know, LGBTQI plus history. Like, so I think whatever you are as a person, your identity is a big part of the fact that you're making art in the first place. You know, I don't think they come separate from each other. And I think, you know, I think your friend, I totally get that she didn't want to have her Blackness become part of her art. At the end of the day, it's clay, it's pottery, you know, it's ceramics. You know what I mean? Like, who would have thought, you know, a potential vase would be, you know, up for being, okay, well, this is made by a Black woman. But the fact that she's a Black woman and she's out there putting something out there is inspiring, and it's brilliant because there was a time when her being Black, her being a woman, or the combination of the two, she wouldn't do anything. She'll just be like, well, I just do this at home, but no one's ever going to see it because I'm a Black woman. Do you know what I mean? There was a time when that was a thing, and I still think that time is still kind of around in a weird kind of way. For
Yeah, she
me,
said it's like it's pottery world, and I never would have thought this because it's pottery, but it's really like male and white dominated.
yeah,
And it's
exactly.
like it's vases. Like what?
It's fucking vases and mugs. Do you know what I mean? But again, if you really look at a lot of industries, I would say all industries are really dominated by white men. They are even
Yeah,
drag. Look how many white male, regardless of the sexuality, but white male drag queens there are compared to black male drag queens.
yeah,
Let's not even talk about, say, trans people or bio queens or whatever who are in there. If we just literally put it down to male and the color of their skin, you're going to have more white male drag queens out than there are going to be of color. So there is like a domination of one sort of person. And I think it's important for people who are creators, if you have a platform, you kind of have to put yourself out there. Like, again,
yeah,
I never once said to anybody, I'm going to be political. I'm not going to, I literally just did Drag Race so I could work a bit more as a performer. But with that, because I have a platform, I have a Facebook which is recognizable. I have a voice. I'm not afraid to speak about stuff and put my two pennies in. You did, as much as you don't want to be an activist or you don't want to be someone who is kind of taking on a battle or a fight for something, just you existing and doing what you do is part of it,
yeah,
and you can I always think you can try and run from it and be like, no, I'm not doing this, this is not what I came here to do. But there's a little kid out there who's seeing you do what you do, and they're being inspired by you. You're giving them some sort of hope to go, oh, maybe I could try. I'm a black chubby queer boy. Maybe I can put a wig on and try that, or maybe I could try painting or whatever. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? And it's so funny because there's another queen. I'm not going to name who it is, but there's another queen who literally is like got the biggest platform in the world right now, but doesn't want to do. But as I outrightly said, I'm not an activist. I'm not here to do that, all this kind of stuff, which is fine. But I kind of feel like you kind of got no choice. You just got to go with it, you know. And if there's things going on in the world, the platform has to be used for something bigger than you.
yeah,
And I think that's why, like I said before, like, you end up realizing that the platform, depending how you use it, is bigger than you. It's bigger than taking a selfie and getting 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 likes. It's bigger than that. And
yeah,
I think it should be. I think, we're so lucky if you can work in the arts. We're so lucky if you can be successful in the arts. We're so lucky if you can make money from it. We're so lucky if you can buy a house from it, buy a car, buy a new wig, whatever. You're so lucky you can do that. Why
and
not?
a wave plus up. There we
Why
go.
not? Why not have an opinion about something and not be afraid to give up that platform to say this is my favorite queen from RuPaul from Drag Race is Morgan McMichaels. Morgan has no issue, and again, she's been famous for a very long time. She's been there, done that. She's been on Drag Race a few times, and she's known on the scene, that kind of stuff. What I love is she's got no issue to give up her platform to expose. If you go onto a platform onto her Instagram page, she makes me laugh because she literally, if someone says anything racist or like that, she will literally grab all the information and she'll expose them all over Instagram. But what I love about that is that she's got no issue in giving up her platform for something bigger than her.
Mm,
And I think that's why it's so interesting when you do hear certain people, certain celebs, certain drag queens, whatever, who have these massive platforms, thousands of followers, and that kind of stuff, and all they can do is post a nice picture to get a few likes. Um, it's just very interesting. But I don't know. I'm not trying to do this to become a famous person, although, I'm happy to be a famous person, to work more and, and achieve more. But there's got to be something more than just a couple of likes on a picture. Do you know what I mean?
It sounds like it's kind of taking a bit of an ego check as well, that it's like, even though all of these people are here for me and the character I've created, it's about something bigger than me. And like, it's not, like you said, just about my selfies and stuff like that.
Listen, if you can wear that drag mask, that facade 24/7, go for it. For me, I think it's more sexy to see a human underneath all the armor.
Yeah.
I just think, and that's not just drag. That's anything. That's anyone with a. Because we know that if creative people can be very egotistical, very much about themselves, and I just think it's more sexy when there's a human we can see, and it's not. And again, it's not just about me, like everything I do. Do you know what I mean?
So you're not into sex robots then?
I have two sex robots that I brought over lockdown. Um,
Well,
I actually
actually,
not a full sex. Oh, I can't say it. Not a full sex robot, but I was sent something from a company in Japan or something, and it's like a very. I'll tell you about it privately, but it's a very
I want to see
interest.
it.
I'm going to tell you privately. It's a very interesting bit of machinery, because obviously when you're single in lockdown, you've got to go onto Love Honey or something and grab some toys, of course. But this one, I was like, this is next level. I'm not going to show you on here, but I will show you privately.
I can kind of imagine, because I was in Japan for a while, and I went to one of the like sex shops, and
Oh
there
my
was some
God.
crazy stuff in there.
I'm going to show you privately. We're going to get, sorry guys, but we're going to get on WhatsApp, and I'm going to show David the,
Subscribe to Vinegar's OnlyFans if you would like
yeah,
to see
OnlyFans.
her.
You can either choose from me or Kerry Katona. You decide.
Well, I think we should wrap up, because I'm worried about getting cut off, and then
Oh my
it's
God,
very
yeah.
abrupt ending.
Yes.
Yeah, but thank you so much for coming and talking today. It's
Oh
been
no,
so
I
nice
loved
to like get
it.
to know you more.
And
And
I'm
yeah,
loving the painting, looks gorgeous. Obviously, you're not finished yet, I'm assuming.
that
Oh
this is
my
it in progress.
God. It's so good.
It's giving me right now like a little bit of Tyra Banks.
Give me Ty
The
Banks
smile.
meets. Do you remember when Lil Kim was black? It reminds me of Lil Kim.
That's funny you said. Someone came up to me while I was painting your mural and asked if it was Lil Kim.
You should have said yes, Lil Kim.
Usually I say to people like, it's whoever, well, I'll tell them who it is, but then I'm like, but for you, it's whoever you want it to be.
Yeah,
Like, if you
you
want it to be
you
Lil
decide
Kim, it's
whoever
Lil
you want to
Kim.
be. Absolutely.
Yeah.
If it's Lil Kim, it's Lil Kim.
I think, isn't that
I
what Brooke, she'd say, like, I'll be whoever you want me to be, something like that.
I've been saying that for the last four months, but no one's taken me up on the offer.
Well, this has been great, and I look forward to getting the pictures of the Japanese sex robot soon.
Pictures. I was going to do you a vid. No, I'm joking. I was gonna do a full live vid.
Great. Well, and I'm gonna finish off Lil Kim, and I'll send you this when it's done. When it's
Oh
done in
my God!
London.
And she's gonna go right here as well. Well, you got to
Yeah.
do that. She go right
Grace
here.
Jones, Gaga, Lil Kim. You've got them
Yeah,
all.
I've got the brand new Sugar Babes. That's what I've got.
Cool. This
Oh,
has been
and
great.
Maybelline says hello. Was there any questions as well? Did you do any
So
questions?
I'm not great at looking at. Did you see them come through? I was like looking at the paintings though.
Listen, we've just got the best thing. You should have won Drag Race UK. Absolutely, my love. I agree with you. That's the best question of the day.
That's
The,
the
the,
best
the
one.
answer is I agree.
Anybody, right? You can ask Vinegar in her comment section if you have more questions, I
Yes,
guess. And
absolutely.
she may
Right.
or may not
I
answer.
probably won't. I'm gonna have some pasta in a second and chill out for a bit. Do you know what I mean? Come
That's,
to Jersey Island. Yes, I will. Where's Jersey Channel Island? Is that England or America?
I think that's Jersey Shore.
Oh, in America. All right,
Yeah.
I'll come to Jersey Shore.
No, I don't think it. Wait, Channel Islands, isn't that's off
Isn't that
England, isn't
England?
it?
Oh, I don't
Yeah.
know. I do
My
need
geography.
I do need a holiday actually, so maybe I'll do that.
There you go.
Very camp.
All right.
All right.
Well,
Mwah.
I'm going to go. Lovely to talk to you, love.
You too. Bye, love. Bye,
Bye.
everyone. Bye.